Ladies and gentlemen, people of all ages, it is that time for That Exciting Dude and the Snap Sports Podcast. Go. That's right, it is that time again. Alright, I think I got the mic situation figured out. I think I have the sound figured out. We're just gonna hope the green bars are good. They're up, they're full. Alright, it's time to roll. We're gonna start off with NFL, then we're gonna end it with a little chip chop of NHL and a little chip chop of some NCAA football action. Just to start off the getting back onto it episode. Alright, we're just going to start out with the good old, first let's start out with Happy Thanksgiving. With so many people and have plans going on, you probably won't get this till the end of the night. Things will be over. It'll probably be Las Vegas and Dallas going at it. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the good old weekly pick'ems. So, I don't know what week I left off at, but we're going to forget about where I left off at, and we're going to look forward. Alright, so starting off on the day for Thursday, November 25th, today, which is Thanksgiving. Kicking off at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All times are Eastern Time Zone. That is Chicago at Detroit. I'm not much of a spread person. I'm more of this person's going to win or that person's going to lose. I really don't bring spreads into this, but I do remember seeing, I think Chicago is favored by 3 points, but it's like only 3 points. I don't know what their record is by heart without looking it up. I want to say, what are they, like 3-8, maybe 4 wins for Chicago? I know they're not doing too hot. I honestly think that this could be Detroit's first win. But it is Detroit. It is Detroit. I did a long bet on the Caesars app that the Lions were going to go 0-17. But the Steelers messed that up. So because they messed that up, and I don't want to lose this bet to a tie, I have to pick Detroit. I think this is one of those games that they could win. It's a tough one. It's a big tough one because my heart just says, I gotta go Chicago. Always bet against the Lions. That's what you have to do. But because I need that one win, I have to pick Detroit. I have to hope. I have to pray. Alright, at 4:30 p.m., the next game in line is the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys haven't been looking too hot. Denver or Las Vegas, I know they've had a lot of internal issues going on. I really haven't paid attention too much to the Raiders. I'm just going to say this is going to be a bounce back game for Dallas. Alright, Buffalo at New Orleans. New Orleans has kind of been that surprising team. I know they just signed Taysom Hill to a new, I think it was a 4-year contract. I think. Don't quote. I think. Could be. I could look it up right now, right at the fingertips. But I'm not going to. Buffalo, I know they've had their struggles. They haven't been quite the team that we thought they were going to be. But I think they are still having a fairly okay season. But not as great as we all would have hoped. I think this is going to be a shocker. I think New Orleans. You know, this is the NFL. You just never know what's going to happen. All right, so then all the way on Sunday for the 1 p.m. slot games. These are going to be the 1 p.m. slot games. We have Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. I don't know what's going on with Big Ben. I think he's injured again. I want to say I saw an IR next to him on one of my fantasy teams. Maybe I saw the Q. I can't remember. I've got so many people on my fantasy teams. I have 5 fantasy teams. I've got so many IRs. A lot of Qs. Not that the questionables really mean anything, but still. There's a few of them I'm actually surprised I'm doing halfway decent. And there's a few that kind of like the Lions. Not as bad as the Lions. I'm going to go Pittsburgh on this one. Tampa Bay and Indianapolis. Man, what can you do? This is going to be, I think, a good game. Tampa Bay, it's at Indy. Man, Indy has just been rolling lately. Tampa Bay, they've had their games. They've had their struggles. Jonathan Taylor coming off a big game against Buffalo. Yeah, I forgot they played Buffalo last week. Yeah. So Buffalo's on a bounce back. Maybe I should have switched that pick. Oh, wait, I forgot. I cannot switch the picks. These are locked and loaded. The pen is drawn. I don't know if you can hear it. You probably can't, but you can probably hear me shuffling the paper around, but oh, Tampa Bay at Indianapolis. Who to pick for this one? I'm not going to lie. This is one of those games where I really think it could go both ways. I'm going to go with, man, I don't even know who's favorite. I don't even know the spread. I know I've said in the beginning of this that spreads don't matter to me. But sometimes they kind of go into the factor. But this year with the NFL and how a few games have gone, you just don't know. Oh, what are we going to pick? You know what? I'm going to go Indianapolis on this. I really don't want to go against Tom, but I think this is an upset game. I think the way Indianapolis has been playing, they can definitely outdo Tampa Bay. But granted, it's all about Jonathan Taylor. That's like a big 40% factor. Let's see. Next up is Carolina at Miami. You know what? As much as I hate Cam Newton, I got to go to Carolina on this. He's been pretty well for them since he's been back. I think they did lose their last game. Tennessee at New England. Tennessee, oh man, they got rid of a lot of people. That front office was mad after that loss to the Texans. I would be too. 1-8. You're what, 8-2? Going into that game? 1-7, whatever it was. I know a lot of people down in Tennessee. A few of my friends down in Tennessee are talking about how is Ryan Tannehill still surviving down there. He was surviving because of the run game. But that's hurt. Oh, Tennessee at New England. Man. They're up in New England, but they're also hungry for that win, especially after that tough loss to the Texans. Man, who to pick? This is another... I honestly would say this is another tough one. Not knowing the records of these. Like I said, I know Tennessee, I think is like 8-3. I think New England's like 5-6 or whatever. I don't know by heart. I'm just throwing numbers out there. Man, I really don't know about this one. This is another one that's just like, it's up in the air. I'm gonna go Tennessee. I think they're gonna be hungry for that W. We are still at the 1 p.m. games. Remember, all games are Eastern time when I say what the times are. Oh, my background music has stopped. Let's get this rolling. All right, we got Philadelphia at the New York Giants. I'm going to go Philly on this one. Atlanta at Jacksonville. I'm going to go Atlanta. Jets at Houston. No, man, this is like one of those like, okay. You know, I know Elijah Moore for the Jets has been kind of on fire. And Houston's Houston. They're both down there at the bottom of the barrel. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go the New York Jets. But Houston has surprised in a few games that they have won. But anyhow, so we have now the LA Chargers at Denver. I'm not gonna lie, I really have not followed both of these teams at all. This is a 4:05 p.m. game. This is the only 4:05 p.m. game. Man, LA Chargers at Denver. I have no idea how Denver's doing. I have no idea how the Chargers are doing, because I have not been paying attention to these two clubs. I guess they're not clubs. Franchises, I guess, would be the appropriate word. Oh, we're just going to go LA Chargers. LA Rams at Green Bay. This is, I think, going to be a big game. How is Rodgers and that toe going to be? He says it's not going to. He's not going to let him. He said that he's not going to let it slow him down. Blah. That's Rodgers, of course, saying that. But I mean, it's your toe. Is it the big toe? The little toe? Still has to hurt. Oh, man. You know, I have to go Green Bay because my earlier video for my prediction is Green Bay winning the Super Bowl. I have to chalk up a W to them. They could afford a loss. They could probably afford about 2 more losses. They'll probably still make playoffs. I know Stafford's been struggling the last few games as well. He hasn't been the Stafford that everyone, the King Stafford that everyone thought he was going to be. Like, what did they think he was going to be? I mean, he came from the Lions. He was great for the Lions. Yes, obviously they didn't win a ton of games because it was the Lions. But, I mean, he's still a good-ass quarterback. It's like everyone thinks Tom Brady is God. I mean, yes, he could do a lot. But guess what? Tampa Bay has lost a few games. They are just humans on the field. We're going to go Green Bay. All right, Minnesota at San Fran. I think this is another kind of, I think between, let's see, let me mark these. That one. Tampa. Next game. I didn't think the Monday game. I think that of all the games, I think there are games that are just, they're so 50-50. We'll cover it at the end. Minnesota at San Fran. Man, this is I'm gonna go Minnesota. Gotta go with hometown Kirk Cousins. It's been a while since I've rooted for him. I gotta pick him. Cleveland at Baltimore. I know Cleveland's another one of those teams after the stellar season last season, but they're not quite showing that strut. But they're still doing good, decent. When you're a Lions fan, it's so easy to talk about another team. Like, everyone's doing better than the Lions, so it's easy to be like, oh yeah, they're doing awesome. Oh, Cleveland at Baltimore. Cleveland at Baltimore. Yeah, I've almost picked everyone on the left the way this pick'em is going. So guess what? I'm going to go to the left, Cleveland. The LA Rams and Green Bay game, that was a 4:25 p.m. game. Minnesota at San Fran, that was a 4:25 p.m. game. Cleveland and Baltimore is the night game, which is 8:20 p.m. That is for your Sunday games. Monday, November 29th, the following day, the next day, after the Sunday games. It's Seattle at Washington. Washington is another one of those that kind of is coming up from the dumpster ranks and surprising people. And Seattle just is Seattle. They're off there over in the corner of the map in their own little world. I'm going to go Washington. Yeah. Oh, what I was talking about earlier when there's so many 50-50 matches. I mean, you got the Las Vegas and Dallas game tomorrow. The Tampa Bay Indy game, the Tennessee New England, the Rams and Green Bay, I think the Minnesota San Fran, the Cleveland Baltimore, the Seattle Washington. I think those are like so 50-50 games. You could probably almost put the Buffalo New Orleans one there, because New Orleans, you just don't know what they're going to do. But it's kind of a check mark against the New Orleans, because alright, that's the weekly pick'em for NFL. That is my pick'ems. We will revisit this next week. It's all on paper, marked down on paper. I got a couple headlines going. We'll share a couple headlines. Then we'll talk about a couple. Let me get that up there. Oh, I totally closed out of my other screen. I had everything lined up. Headlines are still lined up, but the one part isn't. So you're going to hear me typing here. You're going to hear me shuffling around. I apologize. Oh, come on. I hate it when... All right. So for NFL news, offensive coordinator, good old Jason Garrett. We all remember him from Dallas and how much they did not do well with him. He was fired by the Giants after, what was it, the Monday night game? This past week's game, he was basically fired by the Giants. So, we will see where he ends up. We will see where he ends up. Oh yeah, I forgot the Jets signed Flacco to a deal. Joe Flacco. I might, that's probably pretty good, because I know what they got, the very young quarterback. He's a fresh rookie this year. with an old guy like Joe Flacco in there. I mean, he's not like a god quarterback, but, I think to help teach the young buck, it's good things. It's good things. All right. Then back to the Aaron Rodgers and his toe. I guess there's something with COVID called COVID toe. I was actually looked it up, and it's like almost looks like a chicken pot. Like it just spots on your toes, on your feet. And actually saw a post on Facebook, and I went into the comments, and there was a few people that talked about, oh yeah, so and so in my family had this, and yeah, their feet were like spotted for several months afterwards. Or a few people talked about how they personally, when they had COVID, that they had this COVID toe, which was, I thought it was interesting. Rodgers does not have COVID toe. It is broken. But, so he squashed that. And he has a fractured toe. Not COVID toe. AKA El Brokeno toe. No COVID toe. So, let's not mistake that for a broken and COVID toe. He has broken toe. But again, I thought it was an interesting headline and read going into it. All right, let's look at the top quarterbacks for this week. Pardon me. All right. Actually, wasn't as loud as I thought it was going to be. All right. Let's see. I think this is all quarterbacks, but I'm just going to scroll through. We're just going to look at the top 10 quarterbacks. All right. I don't remember the last one that I played. We'll just play that one. All right. None other than Tom Brady, number 1. Number 2 is Dak Prescott, which I'm very surprised because he didn't do crap the last game, if I remember correctly from the stats. Number 3 is Aaron Rodgers. Number 4 is Justin Herbert, which should tell me a little bit of how the Chargers are doing. Oh, number 5 is hometown boy Kirk Cousins. Number 6 is Matthew Stafford. Number 7 is Derek Carr. Number 8 is Patrick Mahomes. Number 9 is Josh Allen. And number 10 is Joe Burrow. And the runner-up for number 11 is Mac Jones. Only because I scrolled that far. I don't know, do you agree? Do you not agree? Let's see, Tom Brady has 29 passing touchdowns with 8 interceptions. Dak has 20 passing touchdowns with 7 interceptions. Aaron Rodgers has 21 for only 4 interceptions. Justin Herbert has 22 for 8 interceptions. Kirk, I'm actually surprised with this one. He has 21 passes and only 2 interceptions. 2. That's actually pretty good. Stafford, I know they've been really putting him to the throw test. He is 24 for 8. Derek Carr, 16 passing for 9 interceptions. Ooh. Patrick Mahomes. Ooh. He is not that quarterback that we knew from that winning team. 25 passing touchdowns for 11 interceptions. Josh Allen, 21 passing touchdowns for 8 interceptions. And Joe Burrow is 21 for 11. Agree, disagree? Don't consult me. Consult the NFL.com. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get to the other. I want NHL.com. Apologize as you're waiting for me to get to the next tabs that I had on the other screen, but I'm accidentally closed them out because I was like, you know what? I want to make this a fun podcast. Just a little quick little shout outs. I have to actually say that my Wings are not dead last, but they're not first. But I think they're in a very fair position. We're going to go through the top 15 for the NHL. How is your team doing if you're an NHL fan? Let's hit the league button, and here we go. Oh, let's see. Number 1 is Florida. Number 2 is Carolina. Number 3 is Washington. Number 4 is Calgary. Number 5 is Toronto. Number 6 is Edmonton. Number 7 is the New York Rangers. Number 8 is Tampa Bay. Number 9 is Minnesota. Number 10 is Las Vegas. Number 11 is Anaheim. Number 12 is Columbus. Number 13 is St. Louis. Number 14 is Pittsburgh. And number 15 is Winnipeg. And because I want to talk about my Detroit Red Wings, they are number 19th, which I will take. I will take 19 over 32 any day. That's a good spot for them. Let's see. It looks like last night they played the Blues. Detroit. They won 4-2. Looks like those are all the games for last night. So last night, Boston beat Buffalo 5-1. Florida Panthers beat Philly 2-1 in overtime. Minnesota beat New Jersey Devils 3-2 in overtime. Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Vancouver Canucks 4-1 for the final. Washington beat Montreal. I was about to say destroyed, but it's 6-3. Oh, let's see. Columbus Blue Jackets shut out Winnipeg with a 3-0. Then there's Detroit, New York Rangers, and the Islanders. Rangers defeated the Islanders 4-1. And your Vegas Knights defeated Nashville 5-2. We got more games here. And your Toronto defeated the Kings 6-2. Seattle and Carolina. Seattle won 2-1. Edmonton Oilers, they won 5-3. And your San Jose Sharks defeated the Ottawa Senators 6-3. Looks like that's the final. And no games on Thanksgiving. I think it's just the NFL, and that's it. All right. NCAA. Pretty much the only big game that I know is the Ohio State and Michigan game. By heart. Let's see if there's a quick game that I can find. Let's see if there's anything else outside of that particular match. Let's get to the schedule. Let's see here. Saturday. All right, yeah, at noon is Ohio State and at Michigan. Who do you have as your pick? I think the Alabama and Auburn game will be a good one. Maybe the Georgia Tech. Florida State at Florida. I think my Notre Dame and Stanford be a good game. Virginia Tech and Virginia. I could be very wrong, and I could be very right. I mean, a lot of these are like a ranked team versus a non-ranked team, but it doesn't always necessarily mean anything. Like West Virginia and Kansas, that might be a good game. What about Friday matchups? Those were on Saturday. If you want to know the times, look them up. Most of them were like noon or like 2:30, 3:30. A couple of the night games were 7:30. I'm not going to go back and try to remember what I told you. I will say that the big game, the Michigan State and Ohio State, it's at noon on Saturday. And again, as I said earlier, all times are on Eastern time zone. Eastern Michigan and Central Michigan. That'll be a good little rival game. Probably South Florida and Central Florida. Probably be a good little rival game. Looking at a lot of these matchups, it seems like there's probably like a lot of like rival games, like Ohio and Bowling Green. Oh, Iowa and Nebraska, that'll probably be a good little game. That's on Friday. Washington State, Washington. And what about Thursday? I guess there's 2 Thursday games. Fresno State at San Jose State. And Ole Miss at Mississippi State. Those are tonight's games. The Fresno game is 3:30 p.m. on FS1. And the Ole Miss and Mississippi State game is 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. If you want tickets to the Fresno game, they're as low as $15 that they say here on ESPN. And if you want tickets to the Ole Miss Mississippi State game, tickets are as low as $25. What's the lowest game? I'm just curious. We're just wasting a little time before I end the stream. Looks like I see one for $4. All right, probably to end. Another NFL news story that I do want to quickly touch, as we want to end on a very positive note. So it's a very positive headline, and that is good old J.J. Watt, that loves to do many great things. He has decided to pay for all... Oh man, now I'm having like a brain fart of what it exactly said. I'm like remembering it by heart. I want to say he's paying for all the funeral costs and hospital bills. Oh man, now I gotta look it up. Of everyone with that Kenosha accident. Now I gotta look it up because I have to be correct in this one. I need to be... Okay. Yep, J.J. Watt to pay for the funerals for all of the Waukesha Parade victims. Yep. He's always been an awesome person when it comes to the communities. And it's not necessarily like his own community. He just, boom. He loves to give. I don't have any background music going, even though I'm going to end it here in a sec. Oh, man. I am slipping up. All right. Looks like 35 minutes is going to be good enough for me. Hopefully you have stuck around. It's a long one. I figure since I'm paying for 45 minutes, it might, I don't mind trying to fill it up. But if you haven't already, subscribe, follow. I intend on here on out making it happen, assuming that my voice is good in this podcast. Everything is lining up. The green bars are getting up to where they have to get up to. So I'm hoping that my voice is good. I'm hoping. All the bars are looking good on my end. That's what I'm saying. So things should be good. Alright, without further ado, this is the Exciting Dude. If you haven't already, subscribe, tell your friends about me, share, comment, listen more. And until next time, watch sports.